know if I actually made the point last night of who Baal is, and maybe I did make the point last night because God did not tell me who Baal is concretely until this AM when I was laying in the bed. I need to go that way. Um, Baal is free will. And so over on Facebook, LoneeAppleton, make sure you're following. Lots of great discussion going on over there. If you'd like to talk about it, meet me over on Facebook. Um, but someone asked if if it's written, what is free will, right? Because I said Baal is free will. This is what I received. I can get on the freeway. If it's written, what is free will? And I said, because I believe in infinite versions of yourself. So every time you make a decision or a choice, there's a version that branches off and goes in any direction. And so I'm the version of me that is moving in God's will. But there is a version of me, and it is a past version of me. So I know this version of me exists. I just think it's very, because if God created me to be me, to come to this earth, to do what it is that I came here to do, then far be it for me to believe that I'm the only version of me because I came here to create, right? Creative energy is infinite. And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That's why I say I'll leave it at that, because y'all know I'll start pondering something else. But I believe that there's multiple versions of me, and there was a version of me up until 2022 that was living in complete and utter free will, devoid of God, even though I knew of God, but did not become one with God. Two different things. And that version of me lived within free will outside of God's will. That version of me would have never accomplished God's promise over my life, even though that version of me was very much aware of God's promise over my life. We are aware of our potential. We just don't know how to tap into our potential, because the key to tapping into that potential is within God's will, not free will. So Baal is free will because Baal is keeping you outside of the promise of God. God is keeping you outside of divinity. Baal. I don't know what I was saying, but Baal is keeping you outside of everything that God said is yours. And I believe this to be true. I know this to be true. I'm just saying believe for y'all, but I know this to be true just because I study life. I've been studying my life. That's why this content is so powerful, because if you study it, you can pick some stuff up. But know that I'm studying. I am studying every single thing, and I know everything that happens, why it happened, what is going to potentially happen from it. I'm the experiment. My friend Trinity on here said, hey, how's your experiments going? I was like, I haven't really been working any. The only thing is I've been just studying myself, living life, seeing what's happening, yada, yada. So I am the experiment. And in that respect, this is the result. And in that respect, I can say there is a version of me who will leave this earth without ever realizing her fullest potential. There is a version of me who will leave this earth when she decides, because she figured out her fullest potential. And so, yes, I question death, because there is a version of me, there is a version of oneself that outside of the will of God, yeah, this is when that life path will end. But there's also a version of oneself that within the will of God, this is when that life path will end. There's infinite versions of yourself. And based on the decisions that person makes, that version of that person makes, their life path is going to go the way that life path it goes. So it's not that there's only one life path, is that whatever life path is chosen, that life path is written. Okay? So the life isn't written. The life path is written. And that's what I'm receiving. So Baal is free will. Baal is deception. Baal is, for simplistic terms, Satan. Baal is to get you off of your ball and fuck off your promise. Like, real talk. I'm losing my lane. I'm trying to figure this out. Because the people back there don't know we're losing our lane. And they flying. Meanwhile, we losing our lane. And I promise, I see motherfuckers exiting. Do I need to go down to 16th Street? Because y'all really, I'm on my way to a funeral. I gotta go home and get my kids. We gotta make a lot happen in 30 minutes. Get back to the house, pick up the kids, get to the venue. It's gonna happen. It says dial M for murder is what the thing up there says. It's interesting timing of that ad. Anyway, that's my answer. If I didn't give you one yesterday, Baal is free will. You can choose to ball out if you want to. Do whatever you want to. Or you can choose to live within God's will. God's will is a lot slower. God's will is a lot less shiny and flashy. But God's will is magical. What I'm experiencing in my life is pure magic. I've never thought that I would live the life that I'm living, and it's even more crazy because I don't have a car. It's my husband's car. I have access to it. I don't have consistent income. I don't, I don't have all the things that this world would tell me I should have in order to have the perspective that I have. But I understand that this world will never dictate, because in the beginning of all of this, I know all of this happened for me to learn how to truly have faith. And in that, God depleted me of all worldly things so that I only could depend on God. Now, God used humans to make moves, right? It's like the guy who was sitting in the middle of the ocean and 3 boats come up and he's like, you need a ride? He's like, no, I'm waiting on God. And then he dies and he gets to heaven and God's like, yo, how come you didn't take he's like, yo, God, why didn't you save me? He's like, I sent 3 boats. God's going to use humans. Like, what else is God going to use? A ram in a bush? A pillar of smoke on a cloud? What's God going to use? God's going to use humans. So yes, God has used humans to make some moves in my life, but I would never credit humans. I would credit the quality of humans. My husband is an amazing man, and I'm so happy to be in a space where I can say that authentically. My husband has held it down for the past 2 years and continues to hold it down. But I know only through God. God created the avenues in which my husband can hold it down. Trust me, there's plenty of people with the same grind and will and whatever of my husband who can't do what my husband has done. And it's not that my husband is special. Is that we are within God's will. I am within God's will. So I am covered, even though my husband may have not been. I don't know where he is with his God relationship. I'm speaking for myself. But I know that my hedge of covering, of protection, it says it in Job, is over myself and my family, not just me. So even though my children or my husband or anyone at any given time within my life have not known God, they've always been covered because I do. And even when I didn't, somebody knows God and I'm covered. Your family extends past what's in front of you. That hedge of protection, you don't even know how wide that stretches. That's why your prayers are important. You strengthen that bond for all your generations. All right, y'all, have a great day.